Hello! Hello and welcome. If you are here, please, by all means, give me a quick shout out in chat, just so I know that we are good to go. If you can hear me and you can see me, please let me know. Also, there will be a 20-second delay, so I will see that 20 seconds after you type it. Other than that, hello and welcome to Admiral's Academia. This is the online ANS tournament class. So again, if you could just let me know that you can hear me and you can see me. Also, just to let me know that you're there. I'd love to see who's all hanging out in chat today. So please, by all means, send me a quick hello in the Twitch chat here. Also, I have Discord open as well, so throughout this class, if you have any questions, please feel free to tag me in either our Discord or our Twitch chat here. For credits, if you are a part of the Nine Blades or are on our Discord, please go ahead and use our Amped bot and sign in now. If not, if you could put your kingdom, your park, your orc name, and your credit in the Twitch chat here, I much appreciate it. Okay. So, if we are all good, we will start. Okay. As usual, we start with the almighty cue cards of color-coded awesomeness. So, this class specifically will be going over the online aspects of Dragon Master tournaments, or any other tournament really. But primarily we'll be focusing on Dragon Master tournaments, especially with our particular rule set that is in place right now. Please keep in mind that this is a way to do things, not the only way to do things. So know that this is an option. So by all means, if you can find other strategies, if you find things that work for you, things that are a little different or spawn off of ideas here, all good. Okay? So, first and foremost, the main way that entries will be presented will be through pictures. That will be the main form of actually entering items, right? So the pictures are going to be very essential. How you do them will mean everything, as this will be the only way the judges will be able to see your work. So, things to keep in mind when taking photos. Keep in mind that this is the same sort of situation as presenting live. You want to focus on the presentation, right? So if you have, let's say, a 2D art piece, and you just have it kind of haphazard, and you just take a quick shot of it, that's not going to present well. That's not going to look very good. But if you put that in a frame, you have it propped up, maybe throw a blanket underneath it, some sort of like fabric, right? Have it nicely presented. Make sure that it is well lit, that the image itself is clear. If you have any particular detailed things you want to zoom in, have multiple shots. It's going to be a big thing. If you have things that are like three-dimensional, you're going to want to have different angles. You're going to want to show every aspect of it so that anything you would want them to see live will show up in one of those pictures, right? You want to make sure that you are giving them as much information as you can, so that they can judge it fairly, and so that your hard work isn't going to go to waste, right? Also, random side note, for those that do use picture frames for their 2D art, glass can be an issue for using flash and things like that. You can still use picture frames, you just remove the glass for the photo itself. So that's a little hack for that. Additionally, something else you can do in addition to photos is video. So if you do have something like a 3D sculpture or something that you can do a video where you go all around it, go nice and slow, right? Do it all around, right? Pick it up, turn it upside down, show every aspect of it, right? Now, this would not replace photos, and let's make that super clear. It would not replace photos. It would just be an additional thing to present so that, again, you're showing as much as you can to them, because this is literally the only visible means that the judges will have to actually see what you're doing and being able to judge it. Okay. Any particular... Oh. Couple more things. So, I've now judged a whole bunch of tournaments online so far, and the big things that we see often, feet in photos. Know that you can crop your photos, right? Or just when you are actually, framing up, right? Look to make sure the shot is clear so that you're not having like half of your body in there, right? Because when you're doing it like on your phone, you can see that. If not, again, right, just crop it. Just crop it right out. Other things, McDonald's wrappers, fast food of all sorts, just random garbage or messy piles of things. It can be sensory overload, and very, very distracting for judges to be able to see so many things in a shot. They will end up looking at everything, and their eye will divert from the focus. So it's going to be very, very important that what you have in your photo is basically just the thing that you are trying to present. Now, you can have like a nice backdrop, right? You can have it be on a piece of fabric, just, right? You can use fabric as a good highlighter of sorts, where let's say you have a white item, right? You could put it on a black piece of fabric just to make it pop out more, right? Things to avoid: if you have a white object, don't put it on a white piece of fabric. It's gonna get all sorts of blurred in there. Or, right, also be careful with the lighting, especially if you are doing something with very specific colors and tones. Make sure that your colors are coming through and that they're not getting muddied, that they're showing up like super dark when they're super light or something to that nature. Again, if you are using a phone, there's all sorts of settings that you can correct and balance and try to get it more accurate to what it is in real life. I would say, though, be very cautious when you are doing so, and do not cheat. I cannot preface that enough. Do not make the colors more vibrant if they are not in real life. Don't hide things with digital editing, right? That is cheating. Please avoid, right? But yeah, just changing things like exposure and stuff like that when it's a fault of the camera and not of the creation. And if you are just making tweaks to make sure that, right, it's more matched to real life, that is not cheating. That is trying to get it as close to what the actual thing in real life is. So by all means, try to get that as close as you can, and that type of edit is totally fine. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions on photos? Go ahead and just throw up questions in the chat. Also, chat can end up getting a bit crowded because folks chat. So if you could just tag me when you do send messages, just so I can see things better, just to make sure that I'm not going to miss anything. So by all means, also for those that are joining us, please give me a shout out on the Twitch chat or on our Discord. I am monitoring both, just so I can know who all's here. I can see that the amount of viewers, but I have no idea who those viewers are. So I'd love to see who's all here. Also, hi and welcome. Again, just because we've had a whole bunch of influx of new folks, I'm just going to go back a little bit and say hello and welcome. I'm the Admiral, and this is Admiral Academia. We're doing the online ANS tournament class, and I'm going to stop after each section to open up for questions. If anyone has any, feel free to throw them while I'm going, and I will go back and try to answer them as we go. Again, there is a 20-second delay, so please know that I will see them 20 seconds after you type them. So that. Also, I will periodically do the 20-second silly dance to give time to do that. It's just a little dance. It's very silly. It's not much to it. And then it's always ended with the jazz hands from Shafia as tradition. Additionally, folks, remember to hydrate. Hydration is super important. So feel free to drink along. Hi, folks. Hello. Awesome. And thank you for coming. I super appreciate it. Yeah, if you have any questions, please go for it. So we just went over pictures. So if anyone has any questions having to do with the pictures presented, go ahead and toss me those, and we'll move on to the next section. If there's anything you need me to go over again or rephrase, repeat, let me know. Okay. So, pictures. Whoop. Nice cue card. Measurements. So, again, when you are presenting your pictures, this is the only thing that the judges have for any sort of reference at all to your piece. So, when you have things that have legality measurements, you want to have a measuring tape or a ruler of some sort of measurement in there, so that the judges can actually see that it is legitimately a legal weapon or shield or whatever the case may be, armor, anything that has anything like that. You want to actually have the measuring tape like in the photo. So, weird, interesting fun facts about measuring devices. The type of, like, the flexible fabric sewing measuring tape that you use, check the first inch. Fold it over to the second inch mark and make sure that it's actually an inch. It is extremely common for that to not actually be an inch. In sewing school, they actually will teach you to, like, start at the 2-inch mark and go from there, and then to do the math, and yeah, because unfortunately a very large amount of them, their first inch is not actually an inch. So be cautious of that, because you might end up having the wrong measurement in there, and you don't want your thing to show as illegal when it might be totally fine. Also, for the, like, construction ones, it is meant to be used with pressure. So you'll notice the bit at the metal bit at the end that has the give. You'll notice that it can do this, right? So when it's not taut, it'll be here, and when it's taut, it'll be over here. So again, it's something that's going to change the measurement. So keep that in mind as well. That's actually a really good point. Cool suggestion from Alana Two Trees. Making your entry into a Google slide presentation. Yeah, that'd be super cool. Right? Again, there are so many options that you can do. Know that, again, anything we go over in this class is as an option. It is not the only thing that you can do. Feel free to expand on anything that's covered in here if there's, or completely disregard it entirely. It's totally fine. These are just suggestions. These are things that I've come across while I have been running or judging or competing in these types of tournaments through my personal experiences and things like that. This is sort of what I've learned along the way. There goes my cat. Okay. Other things to consider for measurements. Scale. If you have this tiny miniature piece and it's extraordinary detail, just absolute nonsense, and you have a nice close-up picture of that, the judges will not know that that is a miniature item if you do not have any sort of scaled photos. So by all means, yes, have a nice close-in tight shot of it, but also have a thing showing the scale with it, right? Have different photos, show the breadth of it, show the different angles, show the details, and show the scale of your item. In turn, if you have this giant, crazy piece, again, use something to scale to show just how big it is, right? Because again, you show that to that, they won't know the difference between a piece that's this big and this big. If it's all cropped into a thing like this, that's sort of the illusion that can happen when dealing with photos. So try to keep that in mind, right? So you're going to show your measurements, you're going to show your scale, things like that when dealing with photos and measurements. Okay, are there any questions on that before I move to the next section? Again, 20 seconds before I will see it. So, silly 20-second dance. Jazz hands. And again, if there are any questions you have throughout this, if you want me to repeat anything or go over anything from previous sections, please let me know. Again, we have gone over pictures and measurements. Otherwise, we will move on to the next section. Again, if you have any questions, please just tag me in either our Discord or the Twitch right here, and I will answer them as soon as I see them. Other than that, we will move on to the next section. Okay, cooking. Cooking is very hard. If you are entering cooking yourself, or you are allowing food entries to happen in your tournament, be very, very clear that what will be judged is things like aesthetics, plating, the difficulty, the effort, things like that. What you're not going to be able to judge is the taste. Anything that's even remotely close to that. This will basically be almost like a 3D art entry of sorts, but it can be judged by it being food. So those entries can happen, but understand how you have to judge it and what will be missing. I would honestly suggest for those entering to consider holding off. Wait till there is a live in-person version of the Dragon Master tournament to make sure that your entry is actually being judged for all that it is, you know. So this is a thing that you can enter, sure. But also some folks may not even allow that in their tournament. They might just go, this is not realistic for us, we're not going to have it be a thing. So just sort of things to consider. Now, when you are entering, if you are, the photo is going to be very crucial to your score, because, again, that's all they got. So consider, again, plating. Plating is going to be big. You don't want to have just a scoop of a thing on a styrofoam plate that's cracked in half with a fork that's already been used on something else, and just amongst a bunch of used plates and stuff, like plating. make sure you have solid plating. Also have a cross section shot. So you want to have, for anything that's like baked, you want to have a shot where you cut it in half, open, and show the inside. Right? That's how you're going to be able to show if it is properly cooked through. They'll be able to see if it's the whole thing's burnt, if it's raw in the middle, you know, things like that will be able to be shown through a cross-section shot. So that's going to be super crucial. Also, one thing, oh, no, that's on a different card in another section, so I'm actually going to not say that right now. We'll get to that. Remind me later, self. But that's pretty much it for cooking. Again, there's like things like beverage entries and stuff like that. I would not suggest entering into a tournament online. I would not. If the judges can't be able to taste it, and it's not something that right, baked items work pretty well, like pies and things like that. There's a lot of things with the aesthetics that are really impressive, and those things where you can show cross sections, you can show how it's cooked, you can have a huge list of ingredients, you can explain the entire process of how you made it, right? Some things are really complex for cooking, and other things are super quick. So, right, your write-up is going to be huge in that too. Huge. And still have the ingredients, right? Still make sure you have the ingredients. Go through the whole thing. Explain how you did everything. Because again, that's going to be primarily what you're being judged on, because you're not going to be able to do the taste. So that's going to be a whole section that's going to be missing from your score. So again, you can do it if it's allowed, but understand that you're not going to get that same sort of experience, and you're not going to get the same sort of helpful feedback that you could be getting on a live taste-tested judging. So it's dealer's choice, right? It's know what you're getting into. And always remember, there are a million of these tournaments. There are a million Dragon Masters. There's tournaments outside of your park, outside of your kingdom. They are everywhere. You do not ever need to enter at that time. There will always be more. So, general tip for just all those that tournament in any situation, in any medium. If you do not feel ready, if you feel rushed, if your entries don't feel finished, there's more you want to do, you feel it's rushed, you're not going to really be showing what you can do as an artist, hold off. If you are not sleeping for a whole week and you're just you're doing damage to yourself mentally and physically to try to get this done in time, hold off. Just hold off. Throw it into the next one, right? Your scores are going to be better. You're going to be in a better situation. You'll enjoy it more when it's not this heavy burden on you mentally and physically. So you want to compete safely and healthy, or it will end up being a really bad experience, and it will tarnish your desire to want to do them in the future. From personal experience. Yeah, just be careful with yourself and be kind to yourself. You got this, you're great. Okay? Just give yourself the time to let them see how great you are. Don't rush it. Okay, so if there are no questions on the pictures, measurements, or cooking, we will move on to the next section. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to throw them either in the Discord chat or in the Twitch chat. Either one is totally good. So we will move on. Bardic performances. Okay. Don't edit or augment your bardic performances, and try to do them in as few attempts as possible. Remember that this tournament is going to be trying to mimic real life as much as possible, and in real life, my hat is exploding. In real life, you get one shot, essentially. Usually, you'll probably get maybe a restart if you flub real hard, and you ask real nice. The judges will let you restart, and you can go again. But they're not going to let you go through the entire song 5 times. That's not going to happen. So some tournaments might specifically say that you have to do it in 1 take or 2 takes. Some might just request that you do it in as few as possible. Just something to consider. But if you do not have the restriction of how many times you can attempt it, then at least please don't go through all of them and pick the parts that went well and edit them all together into a mashed up Frankenstein of an entry. Now, if you want to enter media and you want to do a whole thing of showing your super awesome editing skills, then that's an entirely separate entry. That's media. So, right, know what you are being judged on. You don't want to go into a bardic performance and be like, wow, you edited out all of your flaws. Such good, clean editing. But this is a terrible bardic performance, right? Like, you will be judged on the performance, not the editing, right? So you want to keep that in mind. Now, there might be a tournament that's specifically just a tournament that's do a music video, and they specifically ask you to do all that sort of stuff, and they'll judge all the aspects. You can auto-tune it if that's allowed, right? Know what the rules are. Understand exactly what you are and are not allowed to do. But generally, for these types of entries, these tend to be do it as close as possible to a normal, regular, real-life performance. Don't edit or augment or chop up anything. Don't use auto-tune, right? There's rules that, say, oh yeah, no, do auto-tune, make it crazy. Right? But that would be a super, super specific tournament. And I cannot imagine a tournament where they would suggest you do auto-tune, so don't. Kinda defeats the purpose. So yeah, that. Also, just a note, for all video entries. So this is included also with the picture entries if you're doing a video add-on to show different angles and stuff like that. If your video is large, and you're doing this on something like Discord or Facebook, there is a limit to how big the video can be before it won't let you actually post it. So for larger photos, what you can do is you can upload them on Google Drive or YouTube or something of that nature, and then you can send the judges the link. Just make sure that the link is shareable, right? That you have it enabled so that they can actually see it. The last thing you want to do is send it in 2 minutes before deadline and they can't open it. You don't want to put in all that work for the judge not to be able to see what you did, and then all of a sudden get disqualified or something terrible like that. Again, remember to hydrate, drink along if you've got some water with you. Yeah, so pretty much it for that. Bardic performance stuff also. just like with the photo stuff, you're going to want to make sure that your sound is set up right, that you that your mic isn't a mile away from you, that it's not so close that it's like the sound is getting all sorts of distorted or whatnot. So before you start filming stuff like that, do a test thing. Just do like a testing. Mary had a little lamb, whatever, right? At the distance that you plan on filming it. Maybe even just sing a quick bar of the song, or however long, just as a right, making sure the distance your video's coming through, right? It's not going to be all like whitewashed and or super dark where they can't see you at all. All right, again, when you are doing a performance for Bardic, they're not just listening, right? They're going to be watching your entire performance. So you want to make sure that you are being seen. They'll be looking at your facial expressions. They'll be looking at your body. If you're rocking, or your eyes are going, these are the words, and I think these are the other words, right? They're going to say, does not seem prepared, and you seem to be very nervous, right? You're gonna get those sorts of comments. So be hyper aware of your body, of your positioning, not just the technical things, right? Know what's going to be on film when you're doing it, just like you would for a normal Bardic performance. So random, just food for thought. Also, sort of side note, this is still a Bardic performance. Consider dressing up. Consider wearing garb. Consider dressing as the character that you're performing as, if you're doing a character performance. It does heighten the experience. If you just have t-shirt and jeans, you kind of lose that sort of immersion, that performance feel to it. So that can always just like heighten things as well. So again, food for thought, options. Go to chat for tips. But yeah, there's right, do the research. There's a million videos and a million websites that can give you all sorts of neat tips and tricks about right, as was mentioned here, the distance of your mic, your camera framing, all that sort of fun stuff, settings. But yeah. And if you're having a hard time with it, ask a friend. Ask the individual running the tournament, right? For any tips and tricks and advice, or any preference things that they would like to have for logistics wise. So options. All things to consider. Again, if you have any questions on Bardic performances, feel free to either message me in chat here on Twitch or in our Discord. I'm moderating that one as well. And again, if you have any questions on anything we've covered so far, which would be pictures, measurements, cooking, and Bardic performances, go ahead and send those to me. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next section. Okay. Random things that will not apply. As much as this seems super obvious, you would be surprised how much this actually gets asked. You do not need 5 copies of written entries when you are presenting things online. So do not smash that that send button 5 times. just the one is fine. You just want to make sure that all the judges can see it. You do not need to actually literally send in 5 copies. Because on most Dragon Master rule sets, they'll specifically say that you have to have 5 copies available for the judges. So know that there's going to be augmentation to Dragon Master rule sets specifically for online tournaments. So something like that is the thing. So specifically say it. Oddly enough, actually, yeah, if you're writing a rule set, just point it out. Avoid any sort of complications down the line if folks are like, and that's the weird thing too, right? If folks are really concerned that the judges will be so letter to the law kind of thing, that even though it makes no sense to do, they might be so freaked out about being disqualified that they'll send it 5 times, just to make sure that they're not getting disqualified for some little thing. I know it's super random and super weird, but interesting fun facts, I guess. Other things, if you're doing this on like Discord, Facebook, something like that, if you have a rule set that has blind judging, understand that that's not going to be a thing if you are having them just make live posts. And make sure that they know that if you know, maybe they're not considering that. Again, if you are running one of these tournaments, you want to point out all of the things that are not going to be consistent with what the rule set will say. So just random little things like that. So I will say that when you do have a rule set, and you post it and you go, this is my park or my kingdom's Dragon Master rule set, consider having a supplemental document that has the online augmentation, any side rules, any like particulars. If you want them to have a ruler in shot, if you want them to show the measurements, and that's a requirement, that's not going to say that in your Dragon Master rule set. And if this is what you give them and you don't tell them otherwise, that's not going to be there. So anything that's going to deviate from that rule set, anything at all, you're going to want to have specifically in there. And do not assume at all that, oh, they won't do this, it's fine, they'll understand that this, literally, actually write it out. Just be super, super clear and write it all out. Every little thing that will be different, cover your bases, right? Communication is going to be super, super important for a thing like this. It's a really hard rule set to deal with, so just be as clear as possible. Okay, question. Yay. How do you suggest presenting an entry to the judges which you think is outside the realm of any of their knowledge, such as real advanced... Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. So, that is on this card, so I will be addressing that. So I'm gonna get through this one first, but I will come back to your question because this will be I will be addressing it in full. So, but any other questions on anything that we've covered so far? Again, feel free to let me know, and Clifton, I will be addressing that for sure. Yeah. Okay. Again, if you have any questions on product performance, pictures, measurements, cooking, or deviations from your rule set for the online version, go ahead and send those to me. Otherwise, we're going to go into the organizers side of this. So just as I just said previously, make sure that your rule set is posted. Make sure that the side document that explains any of the particular rules with it being online, any augmentations that contradict the rule set, you're going to want to have that typed up with that as well and presented. So that is a thing. If you did not write the rule set yourself, read it very, very carefully. If you have any questions, make sure you go to the individual that wrote the rule set and get them clarified. The last thing you want to do is take on a rule set, glance over it, and start to go in, and all of a sudden everything be nowhere near what you thought it was, and by the time you realize it's too late. That is the worst thing. Try to avoid. Sorry, question. How would you suggest running an online artist showcase? And since I will be running one, would you be interested in entering the one I am running? Ooh, swanky. Oh gosh, there's lots of options. Goodness. Okay, so you could do it on Facebook, where you just have a thread where you have no pressure or anything. Thanks, Lana. You're wonderful. You have it to where you have the thread and you have the announcements, or just if folks are interested in showing their stuff, go ahead and post below and just have them, right? If you want to share, jump in there, and that way people can scroll through everything. Otherwise, you could do a thing where folks send the photos to you directly, and you can have sort of that like photo album that you can post, and again, folks can go and scroll through those. You can also do that sort of thing on Discord if your kingdom has a sort of strong Discord community where that's where they go, right? You can again have a text channel and go, this is our showcase. If you're interested, show us what you got, right? There's different platforms and different ways you can do it. I mean, oh gosh, I mean, the options are really endless. You could have a video on YouTube that's just a slideshow and you have music underneath, right? Like, you could really do just about anything online at these days. Is pretty nuts. But yeah, there's lots of options. So it's very much dealer's choice. It's what your personal preference is, where you think folks will be able to see it and participate most. I know a lot of kingdoms are really active on their Facebooks. I know a lot of showcases have been done on Facebook, and right, we've also got like galleries on the oh god, we have so many like ANS groups now. It's actually pretty fantastic. It's a pretty amazing community we have at this point. Yeah. I mean, that's honestly the hard part. It is hard trying to figure out the format. If I were doing it, I'd do it on Facebook, personally, just because that's where the main connection point between all the kingdoms is. All right. I think that's the easiest way if you want other folks to be jumping into that particular one, Alana, then I would suggest having it where most folks will be like taggable and right, where you can actually have it to where multiple kingdoms can see it, having it where it can go onto the community board and folks know that it can be entered from anywhere. To answer your other question, is it like, I'm gonna say yeah, I probably will. If you would like me to post my stuff into your showcase, then yeah, I'll do it. October, okay. Um, yeah, I just like recently finished some stuff. Oh, does it have to be done in the month of October? Yeah, I guess, send me the details, and, I don't want to guarantee anything. I don't want to be like, oh, I have to start in October and end in October, and all of a sudden now on top of dealing with all the things of being monarch of a kingdom, also have to make a thing for a lot of showcase. And to not flub it terribly. But yeah, if it's like past 6 months or something like that, yeah, I can do that. Actually, honestly, like past month, I can do that. But yeah, I will endeavor to do so. I will try my best if I can. But yeah. Yeah, I'm down. I'll do it. Why not? Okay, cool. Moving on. Things I didn't expect to happen today. Oh gosh, good stuff. Again, right, so if you're using a rule set that is not yours, make sure you fully understand it, you go through everything, and, right, you get any clarifications that you need, before you ever start. In turn, make sure that your judges read through everything carefully. You don't want to go through and realize halfway through that one of your judges didn't read and has been judging on a completely different criteria, thinking that it was going to be done in one way, but it was done in another, right? If you have a thing that specifically says that you can't have like decimal points of a thing, right? Having 6.57923 as a score, and apparently that's what they've been doing the entire time, and you're 4 hours into the tournament. Yeah, you're gonna want to make sure they really understand all of the rules and that you're all on the same page before you start doing that. Yeah. Doop, doop, doop. Moving on. Now, we have, in the Nine Blades, been doing these tournaments on Discord. So, some stuff about doing stuff on Discord. If you are running one of these tournaments, talk to the moderators and see if they can create rooms for you. They can create text and voice channels. They can even archive them later so that you can go in and reference them, for folks that are regents that can go through and see what their parkmates have done, so they can consider them for awards, for kingdom regents to go through, for those that their park can only give out X level awards and they can give that and higher. Make sure that that's all being addressed. Yeah. So again, right, what we have done is we will have a text channel for the entrance, and they will make their, they'll have their write-ups and their pictures, and they'll post them themselves, and there'll be like the deadline, so there'll be a thing of, the deadline is now closed, any post after this point doesn't count. And then there is a text channel for the judges, and a voice channel for judges. That's going to be a big one. And this is where I'm going to address Clifton's question. Sorry, I'm good. In 2 dashes, I will address Clifton's question. I'm so sorry, buddy. I'm gonna get there, I promise. So if you are doing this tournament, you are the organizer, right? Let's say you've got your channels, you've got your entries are being posted. As soon as you see a photo being entered, if you notice that there's only one photo, that let's say it's a sculpture, right? And there is only one photo. contact the entrant right then and there and ask them for more photos. Let them know that that isn't enough to be properly judged. Please send us more photos. Please send us different angles, right? If you notice that it's really blurry or something, and it's something like sewn where you really need to actually see like the stitches, the details, right? Ask them to reshoot, right? Don't go through the whole thing and be like, oh, well, too bad, I guess we're not going to be able to judge it, right? Right then and there. You see it, do it right then and there. Because they might not know. They might not realize that it's not clear enough, that that what they're showing isn't going to be judged properly, that it isn't going to be able to really understand what's being presented there. Let them know, right? Most folks be like, oh, okay, cool. And they'll, take photos right then and there and send those in. But also, if they can't, let's say, whatever the circumstances, right? Maybe they took photos like a week ago at their parents' place at some sort of thing where there was, a setup where they could take the really good photos and stuff like that. And let's say they left the item at their house and now they've gone on a trip and they're nowhere near it and they have no access to their entry. At least still have that conversation, know that's the thing, and let them know that, like, enter at your own risk sort of thing. Being like, we will be judging it based on this photo. Please be advised that we cannot properly see this item, that you might get a lower score because we cannot assess this properly. If you wish to remove the item, please do so now. If not, we will be judging based purely on this photo and what we can see or can't see in this photo. So just be super upfront. Be super upfront, because, again, you don't want them to go in and find that out after. Because also, right, they might have just taken the photo right then and there, and their phone is next to them, and the item is next to them, and they could have easily just taken a couple more shots and sent them right then and there. And, there goes the problem right there. You want to give them the best chance they've got. You want to be able to judge the item properly. You want them to succeed, right? You don't want them to go in and go, oh man, this would have been so good, but this, so sucks to be them. Don't do that. There's no point. There's no reason to do that. So give them the best opportunity that they've got. Give them the tools and the resources to be able to have a successful run at it. And also for your judges to not be super frustrated going, I can't tell, I don't know what to judge this because I can't see it, right? Avoid frustration on all sides. Keeping that communication open, letting them know when there's an issue and how to fix it. Yeah. Also, make sure that you are getting the judges' feedback notes and the scores. So get them typed up, right? And make sure that you send those out. A lot of times those will be done handwritten right then and there at tournaments. And you're going to be in a very different arena for this. So that's also something that you can use for the judges' text channel. You can have all of those just written in there. Again, also, just to be clear, those two channels would be private channels where only the judges would have access to those channels. So if you're not a judge, you wouldn't be able to see anything in there. So, cool things Discord can do. I just dropped the card. The card's gone forever. Viking funeral, that later. Okay. Good thing I was done with that card. Rip. We will remember it fondly as it drifts away. Okay. Real quick. Also, how would you feel about teaching a class at that same set event? Ah! Again, no pressure. Oh gosh. Excellent tag teaming. Oh, guys. Oh, possibly, maybe. There's a lot of work when you're the first queen of a kingdom that is freshly a kingdom. So I am very, very busy, and I am also doing these classes every single Friday. Content and making things. But if it lines up, if you have like, oh, hey, this Friday, I would like there to be a class for this thing on this thing. I can just go, hey, Admiral's Academia is now at this event. Hello, we're at this event. So that's a workaround that I can totally do. They're high-fiving each other in chat now, guys. They're high-fiving. It's amazing. How would you judge construction on Amtgard weapons? By look, how are they used on video, audio as they strike? Yeah. Again, right. Try to save this cue card, just in case. Okay. It has been revived. I will undead minion it later. Yeah, so basically for construction entries, if you are entering, again, show it off in any possible way that you can, right? If you made, I'm gonna say it, if you have a bow, right? Shoot it on video, right? Show that, it doesn't explode when you pull it. Show that, you know, a shot can be accurate with it. Show that, that it can actually make it to the anchor, right? If show that it actually is, like, it's not able to be, you know, something super illegal or something. Right, because if, like, also, if you can only pull it to here, the string's only this short, right? That's not going to score as well as a bow that can go all the way, right? Stuff like that. But yeah, if you have any sort of construction thing, show all the angles, have the measurements in there, right? Like, show a tape measure in there with the item, like a ruler or yardstick or meter stick, whatever country you are in. And, right, you can fight your roommate, show what it can do, show that it's not so heavy that, right, like, if it's a lightweight, feather light thing and you want to show that off, right, show the speed. Show, like, what you can do with it. If it's supposed to be a feather light and you're like, ugh, right, and it's like, okay, so that's not a feather light. There's certain things, right, you can show off what it can do. Consider that really for all entries. If you have anything that you can do to really show it off, do it. Go for it, right? If you make a super comfy pillow creation, show that it's nice and squishy, that you can snuggle it, right? Have your cat lay on it for an hour. Who knows? Right? Have a speed lapse video of your cat sleeping on it for an hour. Please don't send the judges an hour-long video. Preface that. They could be very long. Right, again, but just like entering normally in a tournament, the presentation is the icing on the cake. It's the extent of what your imagination and your willingness to try a thing, go out there and, you know, go to the max, try whatever. But yeah, definitely do whatever you can to show it in the best light. Show it, right? I mean, and that's the crazy thing with an online tournament. you can do that, right? You can have a video that has the demonstration of a martial weapon like that. Like you're not going to get that same sort of experience in a live tournament, right? Unless you're specifically requesting that of the autocrat of the tournament, right? The organizer. If you don't ask them to be present and show a demonstration, right? Maybe they're not allowed to do that. Maybe they're just like, nope, there are no one in the judging area. You can't come back. You leave this and you leave. This is your golden opportunity to have a crazy awesome video showing the extent of the awesomeness of the thing that you made. Go for it. We are in a weird time right now, where we are experiencing and experimenting with all sorts of stuff. So go for it. So absolutely go for it. Hey, I didn't know you were the region of Northern Lights. That's awesome. Thank you for being here. Good stuff. Yeah, so again, right? This is a new time to experience new things, so go out and experience them. Try stuff. You are limited by your imagination, so think big. Think big. And try it. Just try stuff, right? Also, you could try a video, you could try to do it, and it might just be like, oh, wow, this is terrible. Just don't enter it, right? But try it. Go for it. You learn more from your mistakes than you do from your failures. Absolutely, 100%. They also encourage you to go bigger, to try more things, to expand upon, right? If you do it right the first time, then you're like, oh, well, that's it, right? If it's not broke, don't fix it. So it's good to try things. It's good to try things and fall on your face. It's good to try something and bomb it horribly. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn every single time it goes wrong. Every single time you will learn something from it. Learning is key to everything. So go out, have fun, try things. Don't be afraid to fail. Do the thing. You got it. Looking at this card, and I've already gone down this card. What am I doing? Next card. Okay. This is it, Clifton. I'm doing it. I'm answering the question. And finally, I'm so sorry. So tired. It's taken so long. Finally here. Okay. So, judging. Also, sorry, real quick. So sorry, Clifton. I keep on just... If you have any questions on anything that we have covered so far, please let me know. Again, I am checking our Nine Blades Discord as we are going, and my phone just fell asleep. There it is. Okay, we're up. Or right here on the Twitch chat. Again, we've gone over organizing, bard performance, pictures, measurements, cooking, and deviation from your rule set. Judging. So, your judges will not be proficient in all mediums. I am very confident to say this outright. They will not. Because no one is a master of all things. They might dabble in a whole lot of things. They might be proficient in multiple mediums, but they're not going to be proficient in all of them. That's not a thing. But what you're most likely going to see is this person is an amazing garber. This person is super proficient in construction. This person is a professional performer. Use all of that. So what I'm going to say is it's okay for your judges to talk to each other. It's not them judging for each other to point out and teach others what a medium is, and what is hard to do, and what is easy to do, and what is quick to do, and what is super time consuming to do. Right, if you're doing something with say crochet. If you're doing something crochet, right, for someone that's proficient in it, they can simply go check tension, check consistency, check for This type of stitch is very easy to do. This type of stitch is very hard to do. Things like that. They're not telling you, if you see this, this must be scored accordingly. If you see this, this is either this number or lower or this number and higher. You're not going to get that. Having just them be able to essentially give a quick little tutorial on just how, like, to see, like, the things to look for, right? Things to look for. Right? If you're doing a bardic performance, right, and no one else knows about bardic performance, and I'm there, I go, okay, so things to look for. What are they doing with their body? Do they look super tense? Are they so tense that they're not breathing from, right? Are they super nervous? Are they just rocking a bunch? Are they constantly looking up and they can't remember their words? Are they emoting? Are they oh god, there's so much. There's so much. I'm not gonna go all into the whole entire thing. I hope you get the gist of what I'm saying, right? You're gonna have folks that are going to be proficient in something there. So don't be afraid to allow them to talk to each other. When I do tournaments, we actually will judge together, and I want to specify this. We will go in a group, and we will our judges' comments will be a collective thing. And we do this on Discord too, right? So you're in the voice chat with all the judges, and you'll go through, and somebody will write notes in the text chat. So basically, we will go over, right? If there's somebody proficient, they will say just random things to look out for, red flags, things like that. Then we'll look at the item, and we'll talk about it, what everyone sees and notices. And because sometimes, right, you'll go through a thing and you go, oh man, this is so just wow, and somebody will be like, can you see that? Like, oh, that whole thing is missing. I didn't even see that, right? You're dealing with a picture. It can be very hard to notice things on a picture. Having multiple eyes on a thing is actually really good. Now, when you're actually doing the score itself, though, make sure that everyone is doing their score themselves, right? It's not like you're gonna go, okay, everyone, what are we thinking? We're gonna give it an 8? It's gonna be, okay, we decided it'll be an 8. Nope. They are still judges. They have to do their score independently, right? Having discussion and being able to have knowledge on an item and talk about it, and collectively be able to give feedback that will be useful to the individual is one thing. Scoring is a very different thing. So you want to make sure that they're still doing individual scoring. So that's the only thing. Just make sure that they are judging. They are separate judges. They have autonomy. Let them judge. But yeah, don't be afraid to let them talk to each other. Also, as in an organizing thing, some tournaments can be extraordinarily large, and you will spend 8 hours judging a thing. Being able to have everyone on a piece and move to the next one together, you can, when they start rambling and going off topic and talking about, oh yeah, once they made this item that was like, guys, yep, let's move on, right? You can control that situation a little better and make sure that everyone's kind of, moving together, right? You know how many things have been done. You can make sure that you're getting to the next thing. And you can flow through it a lot quicker when you're able to, focus on time management and get everyone to focus up and remind them of how many hours you've been doing it for and how many items you have left. That usually gets everyone hustling to the next item pretty decently. But yeah, it also, right, I've done so many tournaments where everyone will just, okay, everyone, go off, start wherever you want, and somebody will miss one item, and you have to, like, and then they'll leave, and they don't know if they missed a thing, and then it's this huge rigmarole trying to get them back and all that stuff, right? It's going to be extremely hard when you're doing this digitally, and if you have everyone just go off and start scoring independently, knowing when everyone's done, getting everything sorted like that, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard to organize that. Right, if all of a sudden you've got, you've got 50 entries and everyone's all over the place, and it'll get disorganized really, really quick. So from an organizing standpoint, yeah, it will help you a lot if you can do that in a group. Yeah. It's like herding cats. It is like herding cats. Yeah. I love cats. I have a cat. Where is Trey, by the way? This is actually very strange. Trey hasn't been here yet. Hey, Trey. Meow. Might be asleep. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, so, just a quick note on feedback. Make sure that your feedback is constructive and helpful. It should not be you just ripping their entry apart. That really isn't the point of feedback. Art is a very personal thing. And it is a very hard thing to have people put a number on it and say a bunch of things that can be extraordinarily hurtful and demeaning. So our goal as organizers, as regents, as crafters, as judges, whatever position you're in, that has to do with arts and sciences, Serpent Knights, right? It is our job to inspire others to craft, to keep trying, to grow, to keep that passion alive, and not to cut them down as they get in the door, as it were. There are too many folks I have heard of that have quit crafting after their first tournament. And I'm not even referring to, like, quit crafting for tournaments. I mean, completely. They give up their medium. They just stop. Because of judges' comments. This is an actual thing. And I think a lot of folks are unaware of that being a thing. I think we have a responsibility to make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah, so just food for thought. Yeah, so there's a lot of saying the compliment sandwich. I literally have it here. Compliment sandwich. So try the compliment sandwich. What is the compliment sandwich? Start with something positive. Thank them for entering. Tell them the good, positive, cool things that you noticed. Then have the critique, right? This could use work. If you try this in the future, maybe try this, right? This could use some work. Try this. Maybe this tool or this technique will help you with this. And then end it with a positive. But again, right, the design choice was super cool. I loved your use of colors. Thank you so much for entering and sharing your art with us. We can't wait to see what you do in the future. Right? Positive, critique, positive. It will help a lot. The last thing you want is just, this was terrible. Why did you think it was appropriate to enter this into this level tournament? Maybe not yours. Like, not your medium. Don't. Please, please, please don't. There's nothing worse than that. No, sorry. There's tons of things worse than that. I've seen worse than that. Please don't do that. Again, compliment sandwich. Try that. Sort of the end note that I have on these notes is consider leniency. This is an extremely hard format in particular. Right, look at cooking. They're not going to get the same experience. They're not going to be able to really show you how amazing their thing is. It's not the same experience as live. Things always look so much better in person than a photo. How many times do you see this photo doesn't do it justice? How many times do you see that on a photo? Understand that that's the thing, and that the entrant knows that, and they're still trying, right? You're asking for them to enter. You want them to enter. You're encouraging them to enter, but they're entering where they can't show you the extent of how good it is. But they're still willing to put themselves on a chopping block like that. Be conscientious of that. So when it comes to this photo could be more clear, I'm not 100% on this detail bit, consider leniency, understand the difficulty of the medium that this tournament is being presented in, and give them some leeway on that. You don't have to be super critical of this. Just be like, oh, well, it wasn't super clear and bright, and I noticed there was your feet in the photo, so this is a terrible entry. Like, don't just be kind. Be kind and be lenient. Yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Does anyone have any questions? I think that's the bulk of it. Again, quickly going over the color-coded notes of doom. Judging, organizing, bardic performance, cooking, measurements, pictures, and deviations from the rule set, which would be the standard rule set, and making the online version. If anyone has any questions, again, also, this would be the point to make sure to sign in if you haven't. Again, if you can go onto our Discord, we've got the AmpBot running on there, so you can sign in there. If not, then if you could please note your kingdom, your park, your orc name, and your credit. Please and thank you. Yeah. So if anyone has any questions, this is the time, because we will be wrapping up this class. Check in Discord as well. I guess this will be my last silly dance for the 20-second delay. Always end with the jazz hands for Shavia. Okay. I want to thank everyone that has come out and seen this. Thank you to anyone in the future that comes and watch this video. This, again, has been the online ANS tournament class. I'm Admiral and Cash, and this is the Admiral's Academia. Again, super appreciate y'all being here. If you have... if you're not on the Discord yet, go check out our Discord for the Kingdom of the Nine Blades. Yeah, no, I'm super happy to do it. If you go onto our Facebook group, we have it posted in our announcement section. It's also posted literally every day. So it will definitely be up there for sure. Okay, our Chancellor's here, so she is super on top of everything as usual. Feywell, you are amazing. Yeah. So if y'all need anything from me, please let me know. Yeah, and if you have any questions, and also if you have any questions that come up, you realize later, like, oh shoot, I forgot to ask this, or whatever, if you're running something or you're about to enter something, and you have any questions, please just throw me a message, either on Discord or Facebook Messenger. I am available. Please let me know, and I will do my best to help you out. So yeah, again, thank you so much for coming. And that's it for today. So, as usual, I'm going to sign off with the be safe, stay healthy, and take care of one another.